I promised you that I would come back to you with what that one thing was that Danny said when she remarried us recently on the 3rd of May. So here it is. This may not relate with any of you. It may not have any relevance whatsoever. If I share this one thing and you go, what, is that it? Then it just means this message is not for you. But if what I share has any resonance whatsoever, and if it stirs anything inside you, then I encourage you to pursue it. We can have a chat, or you can pick it up with someone else that you know, that you love, that you trust, someone who has results in the area of marriage and how to walk it out daily and beautifully and successfully and powerfully. So anyway, just shooting back to what I shared with you recently, Jan and I were married on the 2nd of May 2002 in South Africa. We had to decide whether we were going to use our money to get married or to immigrate. So we decided that we were going to use it to immigrate, and so off we went down to a little local registry office, court of law, and got married. Had our own little vows prepared and everything, but we actually entered into a contract. And considering the fact that we negotiate for a living all over the world within a corporate environment, you can probably understand the very nature of our 13-year marriage. It has been nothing but contract. It has been, if you do this, then I'll do that. If you don't do that, well, there's penalties. Like in any contract, it's intended to be legally binding. If you know Jan and I, we used to be big on penalties, boy, and the last 13 years have been absolute hell. There's no other way to describe it. I cannot count in one hand the number of days, truly happy days that we've had in 13 years. It has been horrible. And I have not come across anyone or anything or any environment where I can share this, or where I've seen this, where I can relate to it, except when I came under the leadership of coaching and training of my mentor, Danny Johnson, who started teaching me about relationship, about purpose, about vision, about all kinds of things that just opened up my eyes to this. But as you know, as I recently shared, it was at Max and Anna's wedding, beautiful friends of ours, in August 2012, when Jan and I were right up front at their wedding, and we both found ourselves in tears when this amazing guy by the name of Clint, who lives in South Africa, married them and spoke about the difference between contract and covenant. Jan and I went outside when the wedding was over, and I said to him, why are you crying? He said, why are you crying? And we both had the same revelation that God said to us, you guys are in contract. I can't bless your marriage, no matter how hard you try or how hard you've been trying. So we both had the same revelation at the same time, at the same exact moment. We were going to ask very, very precious friends of ours, Amber and Nick, who are also elders at our awesome former church in Kingsgate, in London, called Kingsgate, to renew our vows, but something held us back, and we just felt like we weren't ready. And anyway, so fast forward 18 months, and we kind of like let it slide. Then beautiful friends of ours, new friends, Vladimir and Elissa Joseph, who you may know if you are a DannyJohnson.com client, they got married recently and shared their vows on YouTube. And I watched it the one morning recently, and I was in tears on my bed when God said to me again, I'm reminding you to get out of contract and get into covenant. So if you're anything like me, I don't know what that means. I know that whatever I'm in doesn't work, and if that means God's saying contract, then I want to just get the hell out of that hell contract, is what it was. It was a contract of hell. It had nothing to do with God whatsoever. Even though a year or two after we moved over to the UK, we had a beautiful little wedding in Portugal, beautiful, gorgeous little chapel on the mountaintop, and on the cliff top, ocean, poolside, everything. But it didn't get us any closer to God. It just solidified what we were. It was just a party. It was a really nice, expensive party. So I then picked up the phone in tears that morning. I spoke to Elissa, and I just said to her, I'm so blown away by the words that they used, her and Vlad, and I believe that they have got a powerful ministry in marriage. I think those people are going to rock people's worlds when it comes to leading by example of what marriage is supposed to be, which is just an adventure and a beautiful, fun, happy, intense, fierce, beautiful thing. But if you don't have the how, that you can know it up here, but not here, and it doesn't translate throughout your day. Anyway, so we were so blessed to, thanks to Elissa and to Jennifer Ratchford, who is Danny's executive assistant. If you have not met her, you need to seek her out if you are that fortunate and just spend 30 seconds in this woman's company. She is a wise woman, and it was through Alyssa and Jen's efforts that we got onto Danny's very, very valuable list to be married or have our vows redoed. And I was insistent it was not a renewal. I didn't want to renew anything of the last 13 years. It was a marriage vow renewal. So our renewal took place on the 3rd of May. Fast forward to where we are now, because I want to get to the thing that changed so much for me. I went to the dictionary last night and I had a look at what contract means, and it says it's an agreement between two or more parties for the doing or not doing of something specific, and usually intended to be legally binding. Binding being the operative word. And then, interestingly, I learned that covenant is actually from the Latin word convenire, which means coming together. Alright, so 3 things happened. Max and Anna's wedding in 2012, and then Vladimir and Alyssa's wedding in 2014, and then we were married on the 3rd of May. That is our new anniversary date, 2015, 13 years after our contract, which is now torn up and burning in hell for them to enjoy. Bear with me, because I want you to be, I didn't keep you hanging just to keep you hanging with this feedback. I wanted to be intentional and purposeful and really loyal to how I was going to. I'm not the expert, okay? So if you know me, and thank you for loving me as I am not the expert. If you want to know how not to do it, then you can come to me. If you want to know how not to be a good wife, how not to be honorable, how to really get it wrong, you come to me. In the past, that is. I speak that over my life. I was the best bad example of marriage. We were the best, is that a Ruby thing? The best bad example? We were the best bad example of a husband and wife you would find ever. And you wouldn't always see it on the outside either. To a lot of people, we were this successful couple who were like ambitious, driven, hardworking, traveling. I had the outward drama. Jan had some inward drama, but that's in the past. So, I wrote down a few things of the most amazing, powerful words that Danny spoke over us on that 3rd of May recently at our event. And a couple of things stuck in my mind. She spoke about it being a covenant with God first. And I know as Christians and as believers and as lovers of Jesus, I know we know that, but how do we really play that out in our daily practical lives? I mean, what does it look like in your life? So in mine, it didn't look like I had a covenant with God, and there was not much submission going on. But I struggled to get past Jan or over Jan and just submit to God. I just had it for whatever reason. And if you're anything like me, and you come from, and everyone has a story, and so many of us come from unhappy, broken homes, and if that is the case, then you may also have had a struggle like I have to respect men, to trust men, and to, heaven forbid, honor men. That has not been something I've understood at all my whole life. It's just not been something I've understood or known how to do. So, it's a covenant with God first. You cannot be married, you cannot be blessed in your marriage as a husband or wife unless you have this covenant with God. That is absolutely truth and gospel, and that's what the Bible says. And you may be doing well if you're out of that covenant and doing your own thing, and I believe that there are people who are very happily married. But man, oh man, you could be on a whole different level of blessing and prosperity when you come into the covenant with God. Danny said that marriage is an act of faith, and it's a commitment, so it's non-reciprocal. So it doesn't mean if you do this, then I'll do that. And if you don't do it, well then, like Jan and I have been doing it. And if you're doing it that way, then it's a contractual expectation. There's something there that it's not going to work. Doesn't matter. We negotiate for a living. We get paid very well to negotiate for a living. My husband consults all over the world. The head legal counsel of various companies, global companies across the world, consult with my husband for his expertise in negotiation. He's brilliant. So if you're doing that to get something back, trust me, as professionals and as specialists in the field of negotiation and reciprocity, it doesn't work. Just give it up. But if it's an act of faith, then faith is supposed to be something we can't see. We're supposed to love and give and honor and commit and sow without expecting to see something in return. Danny speaks a lot about sowing and reaping. And again, it's not something that we haven't heard before, but we keep hearing it for 2 years now. We're going to our 12th event this weekend with DannyJohnson.com. And it's taking hold now. It's taking root. It's starting to produce fruit. So we're sowing now, not expecting to see what comes back instantly, but expecting a harvest later. Might be the next day, sometimes the next week or the next month, but now I get it. That's not even the thing. Marriage is a promotion. She said, and that's amazing, that's phenomenal, and that's great for people who want to do well and excel in an environment. You know how I have attacked promotion in the past? If I was promoted in any part of my 23-year corporate career, or when I was promoted to full-time mom a couple of years ago, which has been the best promotion of my life, I roll up my sleeves and I get busy and I make it mine and I get all over it and I credit as I. That's been the problem. Like, I attack it like I'm in charge. That is not how marriage works. Again, but I knew this in my head, but I didn't know how to work it out daily. So, anyway, you know, I'm going to ditch these notes. I want to get to the point. Here's the point. I'm going to read you something. This is what Danny taught me, and this is why I submit my whole life and my business and my parenting and everything to this woman who walks her talk and whose teaching is absolutely evident in her own life. You just have to look at the fruit. Here's what she said. Here's what she spoke about and referred to. 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. I want to ask you, what stood out to you in that scripture? What did you hear? What really rang true for you? Did you hear live with your wives in an understanding way? Because we all know our husbands can often do better. Is that, no, it's fine. They can often do better at listening, because we can often do better at honoring. Did you hear that we are heirs with them to the grace of life? Did you hear maybe that men should do this so that their prayers may not be hindered? Or did you hear what I heard? And when Danny said this, my whole body just, there was like this burden that lifted off my shoulders. And this is what it was. And she said, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. And she stopped and she said, Linda, you are allowed to be the weaker vessel. And that's where it all changed for me. And it may not make any sense to you right now, but I want to tell you this. If you have a certain personality, if you are driven in a certain way, if you are, I'm speaking to my Ruby girlfriends, but also you don't have to be a type A, driven, ambitious kind of person to have come from a background where you just took on things in yourself. Stuff happens in life, and then in my life, I took on everything for everyone. I was the solver, the doer, the fixer, the leader, and nobody did that. Nobody put that on me. It was how I responded to how things happened in life. I have found my way back now. I know why I was made by God in a certain way. I know my God-given design, and now I understand its purpose, and now I'm getting the skills to go out and live the life that I'm called to live. But no one's given me permission before to be the weaker vessel, ever. And no one said to me when I was 13, you are not the weaker vessel, and don't ever, no one ever did that. But through a series of many events and experiences in life, I've always been a strong one, and I've never had a leader in my life, ever. Not anyone I can trust or look to, ever, at any time. So at the age of 43, a week before I turned 43, we went from contract to covenant. And I cannot tell you that for the last 2 weeks, when I feel that same tension, that same that frustration of now I've got to go, there's something that I say to myself in my head, there's something that I do and say that makes me go, oh, I'm the weaker vessel. As a wife, mind you. Okay, and I'm also not, if you know me, I'm not a feminist. I don't buy this crap about the male-female race in corporate or in the world, or it's ridiculous. We're male and female, we're different for a reason, and we complement each other as a powerful team for that reason. So I'm not this bra-burning feminist of, power to women. But women are powerful. Women are fierce and tender and loving and influential and all of those things. But as wives, we are the weaker vessel, and that suddenly all the pieces just fell into place for me. And I see that Danny said, I am Jan's helper, and he's there to protect and to cover me and to lead me. And so we take our guidance and leadership from God, but that's what changed it all for me, is that I am the weaker vessel. I sit here very comfortable in that, and suddenly my body language is different. Suddenly I see Jan as physically even a little bit bigger. He's always been handsome, but suddenly he's a little bit more handsome to me because he's this protector, and he's this cover, and he's this lover, and he's this thing that I can go to, this person that I could never go to before. And we both brought our own crap in, and now it's not there. Now we're in our roles. It's almost like we've been skating around the slippery ice rink for 13 years trying to fight. Now we are in our rightful positions, and we're going to just take off and do this thing together. This may not resonate with you. It may stir something in you. If it does, I want to encourage you to reach out to someone that you trust, or to me, and let's just have a chat. Let's just have a Skype. Let's just encourage one another as we should. And I'm actually going to reach out to the guy who married my friends Max and Anna, and I want to ask him a few questions. I want to get some more specific things. If you are one of those amazing people who've emailed me and private messaged me after my post, I would love to share this with you. I already shared it with a very beautiful friend of mine who lives here in the USA, and she's a powerful, beautiful, determined, hardworking, amazing woman who's had a similar struggle. And all we women, wives, need to do is get out of the way so that our husbands can lead. Because I explained it to her, like, for 13 years, I felt like I'm on this chariot and these wild horses are like racing. I've got the reins, and I'm saying to Jan, would you get up and lead here? I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm leading everything in life, in every area of ours. Would you get up and lead? And then he comes up to lead, and I just go, what are you doing? That's not the way. Your husband cannot lead, even if you badly want him to. And I want to tell you that I wanted nothing more in my life than to experience leadership from my husband. I wanted nothing more. And yet my behavior was demonstrating the opposite. So what clicked for me was that I'm the weaker vessel. I don't have to fix everything. I do not have to solve everything. I don't have to strategize. With that in mind now, I go to Jan, and the last couple of weeks we're having the most amazing, tender, creative, inspiring conversations that is bringing us closer together. And Vanessa Frank, sex always follows breakthrough, hashtag. So that's it. I hope it hasn't been disappointing for you. If it has been, then maybe it's not for you. If it stirs something in you, please let me know. I want to see if I can ask Clint if he can give me the words or the manuscript or the script, whatever that he had for contract to covenant, so that we can digest it together, pray over it together, and encourage one another, so that we can be the asset to our husbands that we are supposed to be, and be powerful individuals full of creativity and influence, but as the weaker vessel in marriage. That's it. I hope it encouraged you, and God bless.